Now, the manufacturing sector is a key driver for any country, and likewise in India too, the sector has a huge multiplier effect, and therefore, in accordance, India has set lofty targets to grow the share of manufacturing GDP in our economy from currently about 15% to about 20 to 25% in 2020. In fact, it is becoming more and more an imperative for our country given the large population that we have. Of course, this is much easier said than done, as this sector is probably not in the best of its health today. There is a capital and technology deficit in the country. We face significant infrastructure bottlenecks. We have challenge of attracting and retaining talent vis-a-vis the service sector. We are struggling with very archaic and old labor laws, and we do not have the kind of support from the government the way the governments have supported countries like China and Japan in the past to make manufacturing a powerhouse in the country. Having said that, I am hopeful that today we will have a constructive discussion on how to bring this sector, especially the several thousands or hundreds of thousands of companies, mostly small and medium ones, engaged in manufacturing, back on the growth trajectory, as without manufacturing growth, there cannot be national growth and employment generation. My association with the manufacturing industry is probably one of the most significant sectors in the country, which is the automotive and auto component industry. It is no doubt that the auto component industry is a very good and shining example of a great success story. However, it is equally fraught with its own set of challenges. But despite these, the sector continues to strive to maintain its competitiveness in the global arena as cutthroat competition from other low-cost countries keep mounting. Today, I will share with you some parts of this positive story in the auto component industry. Now, the industry had a humble beginning in the 60s, thanks to Tatas and Mahindras, and of course Hindustan Motors starting to make vehicles. Then the component industry in India got completely redefined in the mid-80s with the entry of Maruti Suzuki into the country. The Indian automotive industry today is the 6th largest in the world, having deep forward and backward linkages with several key segments of the economy. The industry has a strong multiplier effect, which acts as a key driver of economic growth. And as India is rapidly emerging as a global sourcing hub for automakers across the globe, the Indian auto component industry is also fast transforming to meet the expectations and stringent norms of these customers. While the well-developed industry produces a wide variety of vehicles, passenger cars, light, medium, heavy commercial vehicles, utility vehicles, etc., the component sector also manufactures a complete portfolio of products, whether it is engine components, drive, transmission and steering parts, body and chassis parts, braking parts, electricals and others. The last fiscal has been one of the most challenging for our industry in India, with flagging vehicle sales, high capital cost, high interest rates, fluctuating exchange rates, etc., and the slowdown of investment in manufacturing. With all the turbulence in the environment, the macro environment and the past government, etc., the component industry witnessed a marginal decline last year of about 2%, and we clocked a sales of about 2,11,000 crores, which is approximately $36 billion for the last financial year, April 2013 to 14. However, if you look at the last 6 years, we have grown by an impressive 14%. While the traditional advantage of low-cost and high-skilled engineering manpower, backed by a robust domestic demand for vehicles, has stood in good stead for the component industry, going forward to be globally competitive, the sector needs to focus significantly more on R&D, design capabilities, product differentiation, and further improve quality to meet the evolving needs of customers who are looking for more value add. It is indeed heartening that the new government recognizes the potential and the need of the revival of the entire manufacturing sector, and specifically the automotive industry, and they have extended the excise duty concession till the end of the year. Also, initiatives like increasing the FDI in the defense and aerospace sector to 49%, and 100% in railways infrastructure in the recent union budget will open up new vistas for the component makers who are keen to mitigate the risk of the automotive industry cyclicality and diversify into adjacencies such as aerospace and defense and railways. Moreover, the government's focus on infrastructure and skill development and enhanced funding for development of the MSME sector has built hopes for an early revival of the industry. Besides, early signs of recovery are being observed even in the commercial vehicle segment, an important indicator of economic growth. Further, the recent directive given by the Supreme Court on lifting the ban on mining in Karnataka and Goa has raised hopes for the sector, which has been sluggish for over 2 years. The Indian auto component manufacturers over the years have developed strong manufacturing capabilities that have helped them in keeping costs low and meet stringent quality norms. The Indian auto component industry today export to more than 160 countries and have been growing steadily at about 15% per annum over the last 6 years. Component exports last year stood at 61,500 crores, or approximately $10 billion in 2013-14, and it accounts close to 25% of the total industry turnover. And we export key items including engine components, transmission parts, etc. And what is significant is about 15 years ago, most Indian manufacturers used to export about 80% to the aftermarket and only about 20% directly to the vehicle manufacturers like the Fords and Volkswagens of this world. Whereas today, the ratio is exact opposite. 80% of the components made in India go directly into brand new vehicles supplied by global makers like Volkswagen, Ford, etc. So that speaks volumes about the improvement in quality and capability that our country has achieved.